What makes for a strong, captivating heel turn? Well, the wrestler who is turning heel should have a clear motive and reasoning for turning to the dark side, and fans should be able to rationally understand that heel turn. However, whilst there have been some tremendously executed heel turns in WWE history, from The Rock's 1998 heel turn to Seth Rollins' 2014 turn, WWE have also delivered their fair share of nonsensical turns that have ultimately left fans scratching their heads. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at 10 of the most confusing nonsensical heel turns in WWE. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new channel, Wrestlelamia Shorts. Number 10. Jim Ross in 1999. Jim Ross is well established as one of, if not the greatest commentator in pro wrestling history. JR has always been beloved by the fans, but WWE have attempted to portray JR as a heel on two separate occasions. The first turn was in '96, which was a complete disaster, but it was the heel turn in 1999 that completely baffled fans. In 1999, JR was forced to take time off due to the resurgence of his Bell's palsy, and in the meantime he would be replaced by Michael Cole. And instead of giving JR a hero's welcome upon his return, WWE, for whatever reason, would turn him heel. He would cut promos about how nobody cared about him and how the company had disrespected him, but the fans failed to react positively to this new version of his character. JR would even begin to manage Dr. Death's Steve Williams and set up his own commentary table at ringside, but both of these ideas bombed. WWE eventually decided to abandon the heel turn, and JR would once again become the iconic commentator fans knew and loved at WrestleMania 15. Number 9. Mick Foley in 2006. For much of his career in WWE, Mick Foley was a widely celebrated babyface, but in 2006, WWE decided to turn Foley heel. Shortly after Foley's acclaimed match with Edge at WrestleMania 22, WWE would decide to join Foley and Edge together, and the two would put aside their bad blood in favor of attempting to take down Tommy Dreamer and Terry Funk. This heel turn failed to receive a positive reaction, as fans just didn't want to boo Foley, especially because he was virtually retired and this was a short-term appearance. WWE evidently believed that the heel turn was going well, as they decided to keep Foley as a villain during his infamous feud with Ric Flair, which took place in the summer of that year. Foley's 2006 heel turn was short-sighted, and it's unclear what WWE's logic was behind the turn. Number 8. Kane in 2011. When Kane was taken out of action by Mark Henry in the summer of 2011, fans expected Kane to come back with a vengeance and seek revenge on the world's strongest man. When Kane eventually returned in late 2011 during a match between Henry and John Cena, Kane returned with his classic look, bringing his iconic mask back into the process. However, there was one issue with Kane's return. Kane returned as a heel and decided to attack Cena instead of Henry. Kane returning with his classic look was tremendous and was a welcome change to Kane's stale character, but fans were quick to question why Kane simply wasn't bothering with his revenge. He would then embark on an extended feud with Cena, and the perceived issue between Kane and Henry was never mentioned again. Number 7. Braun Strowman in 2018. Between 2016 and 2018, WWE truly struck gold with Braun Strowman. Strowman was a WWE created character, and there was a clear push from fans to see him win the world title. Due to Strowman's immense popularity, he eventually turned babyface, but just a few short months following his face turn, WWE would abruptly turn Strowman back into a heel. This took place in 2018 as Strowman would join forces with Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler with the aim of taking down the Shield faction. Strowman justified his heel turn by saying that he wanted the Universal title and that he wasn't bothered about the fans. Ultimately, this was a weak explanation, and this heel turn was a major factor in Strowman losing a ton of momentum in the company. This heel turn would barely last 2 months before WWE managed to see the error of their ways and would turn Strowman back into a babyface. The issue was that the damage was already done, and WWE had done irreversible damage to Strowman's character. Number 6. Michael Cole in 2010. In WWE, traditionally the lead play-by-play commentator is a babyface. However, in 2010, they decided to turn longtime commentator Michael Cole heel. Cole would turn into a vocal cheerleader for WWE Champion The Miz, and eventually he would enter into a feud with Jerry Lawler. This heel turn was insanely random, and what was strange about it was that Cole became a focal point of the show, and his feud with Lawler dominated TV time, specifically around WrestleMania season. The reason they turned Cole heel was that Vince McMahon realized that Cole was incredibly sarcastic I wanted to explore this side of Cole on television. Cole himself would discuss the heel turn on an episode of After the Bell, and he revealed, "Over the years I would move into Raw where I did take JR's job on the flagship show. I really became a major heel. Vince McMahon decided, Michael Cole in real life is a sarcastic prick anyway. Why not capitalize on this backlash and make him a bad guy? Vince McMahon used to hold a class at TV about 10 years ago called Promo Class. One day he threw me up there with R-Truth. Truth and I stole the show. At that point in time, Vince was like, this guy is a prick. He's a heel. It led to about a 2-year run where there was no in between. People either really loved the character or really thought it was this travesty against everything that was ever done. A play-by-play guy cannot be a bad guy. He has to be the voice of reason. It's the worst decision that WWE has ever made." Number 5. The Big Show in 2014. The Big Show has had so many heel turns in WWE that it's become an ongoing joke. However, this turn at the Survivor Series pay-per-view in 2014 was perhaps the most ridiculous. Show was a part of Team Cena in the acclaimed Cena vs Team Authority match, and Show turned heel by knocking out Cena with a KO punch. This heel turn received an audible groan from the fans, as it was something that WWE had done so many times with Show's character that it just didn't feel special. Show's explanation for his heel turn was that he was just looking out for himself, but Show had spent the past year feuding with Triple H and the Authority, so this explanation left a lot to be desired. Number 4. Dean Ambrose. One of the most mishandled heel turns in recent memory was the 2018 heel turn of Dean Ambrose. On the October 22nd, 2018 edition of Raw, Roman Reigns would reveal the return of his leukemia and he would surrender the Universal title. On the exact same episode of Raw, the Shield would disintegrate as Ambrose would turn on Seth Rollins. Fans were quick to raise questions surrounding why WWE picked this exact episode of Raw for the heel turn. It came across as exploitive, and the heel run that followed was a total failure. Ambrose would justify the heel turn by stating that the Shield made him weak and Rollins was an illness. Now, fans had no interest in booing Ambrose, and his new character, which involved Ambrose becoming a moral compass, made no sense and wasn't remotely linked to any of his prior character traits or quirks. The heel turn went so badly that the WWE reverted Ambrose back to a babyface before his final few months in the company, which was a smart move as fans didn't want to see the former WWE champion as a villain. It later surfaced that this heel run was a major factor in Ambrose leaving the company, as the hokey material Ambrose was given made him loathe his character and he simply wanted out. Number 3. Rikishi in 2000. The Who Ran Down Stone Cold Steve Austin storyline was one of the most compelling stories of the Attitude Era. However, when it was revealed in 2000 that it was Rikishi who drove the vehicle, fans were left puzzled. Rikishi was one of the most popular characters on the show at the time, so it wasn't the smartest decision in the world to turn him heel. Rikishi explained his heel turn by stating that he did it for The Rock and wanted to give him a shot at superstardom by taking out Austin. The explanation was flawed, as The Rock was already a huge star in WWE by the time Austin was hit by the car. Rikishi's heel turn flopped hard, as fans didn't want to see Rikishi as a heel, and by the end of 2001, he would revert back to the lovable babyface everyone wanted to see. Number 2. The Undertaker in 2001. The WWE had been reserved in turning The Undertaker heel. The dead man persona works best as a babyface, and fans have always been reluctant to boo such a fascinating and compelling character. However, shortly after the Invasion storyline in 2001 came to an end, they decided to experiment with The Undertaker's persona and turn him heel. During an infamous segment, The Undertaker would attack Jim Ross and force him to kiss the backside of Vince McMahon. Taker would now have a new moniker of Big Evil, and the rationale behind his heel turn was that he was simply looking for respect. Whilst his heel turn would produce some outstanding matches, they would realize that Taker was better suited as a babyface, and by the summer of 2002, Taker would once again be one of the top babyfaces in the company. And number 1, Stone Cold Steve Austin in 2001. WrestleMania 17 going off the air with Stone Cold Steve Austin turning heel and siding with Vince McMahon is one of the most well-known segments in WWE history. This heel turn stunned fans as nobody saw it coming, but the main problem with this heel turn was that it didn't need to happen. Fans weren't tired of Austin as a babyface, and for him to side with his mortal enemy just defied all sense of logic. Austin has spoken extensively regarding his regrets with the heel turn, stating that he wishes it never went down. Austin's heel run that followed was a confusing mess, as Austin would then join forces with his other arch nemesis in Triple H and would become a paranoid lunatic. This nonsensical heel turn did severe damage to the WWE product, as a lot of fans cite Austin's heel turn as the point that they switched the WWE product off forever. But there you have it, folks, 10 of the most nonsensical heel turns ever in WWE. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.